Welcome to Talk is Sheep, the official podcast of the Wild Sheep Society of British Columbia. Brought to you by our title sponsor, MTNTOUGH Fitness Lab. Come along with us as we take conversations that matter to you into the high alpine. We have partnered with MTNTOUGH Fitness Lab to help get you in shape and mentally stronger. Whether you're a veteran hunter or just starting out, the MTNTOUGH app will take you to the next level. We personally train using the MTNTOUGH programs, and we believe in it so much that we want to give you 6 weeks for free using code SHEEPBC. That's SHEEPBC. Check out MTNTOUGH Fitness Lab. You won't be disappointed. So Talk is Sheep. We're over 200 episodes deep. It's been a phenomenal, 4 years now? It's amazing. A great run. And we couldn't do it without you, our listeners. We should do a giveaway.
What do we want to give away?
We planned this, actually. Maybe we didn't plan it. We'll do a giveaway. But anyway, what we're trying to say is thank you to our listeners. Thank you for tuning in to listening to the stuff that is important to us, the things that we love talking about. And we are always looking for your feedback, and only the good stuff. Like, we don't want to hear any bad stuff. I'm just kidding. We want to hear it all, of course. But if there's anything or anyone you want to hear on the podcast, let us know, because we're always looking for new guests, trying to keep things spicy and entertaining and keep it diverse. So if you have someone you do think would be good on the podcast, but now's that time of year where we've got all these amazing people outdoors are recreating, they're killing things, they're doing all kinds of amazing stuff, and stories, podcasts, content. We're hungry for it. So, Greg, you've been putting out these call to action for content on our social media. So, if anyone has anything, pictures, stories, video, or you think you'd be good on the podcast, reach out to us. It's kstelter@wildsheepsociety.com. So kstelter, pretty easy, at wildsheepsociety.com. And we'd love to hear from you. More content, the better.
Yeah, well, that's definitely where, like you said, we're hungry for content. And, this time of year, everybody's busy doing awesome things and not wanting to talk to us. So it's been a real struggle as of late. Everyone, can I just talk to you in November or December? Like, busy right now.
Yeah.
So if you can help us out now.
We'd love to hear from you for sure. Back to the podcast. So we're incredibly grateful for you, our listeners, and then our sponsors. And so it's super cool whenever we get to connect with MTNTOUGH Fitness Labs. They do a phenomenal job. I've used the programming before, and they just keep growing. Like, it's incredible. They have new content coming out all the time. They've got a daily release now, and it's just, there's so much fresh content on that site all the time. So on this podcast, we sit down with Dustin. He's the main guy behind MTNTOUGH. He started it a dream 9 years ago. It was just, I had three buddies where he started doing some, I guess, coaching for, and just an evolution. And now he's the guy in the outdoor space. If you're going to look for an outdoor training program that's kind of geared to the hunting community, this is the one. This is it. And it's phenomenal. It just keeps growing, keeps getting better. And I can't say enough good things about the good people over there at MTNTOUGH. And again, they're a sponsor. They're our title sponsor for Talk is Sheep. So they make things happen.
Yeah, I know it's a great group of folks over there, and they take it serious. And if you want to take it serious and get into sheep shape or mountain shape, or just get into better shape, they're the ones to go to. They've got so many different packages you can choose from and cater to you, and they'll make whatever you need to work for you. Like, they'll make it happen. And we can't say enough good things about them and what they do for us in conservation here in British Columbia.
Yeah, well said. And they've got this super, super cool program called Tough Sheep. And we're going to, Dustin and I talk about it on the podcast today. And the point is that if you're going to Sheep Show, sign up for Tough Sheep. This is not a This is an ask. This is a demand. You have to do it. Because what's going to happen is you're going to have a 1 in 500 chance to win a Dall sheep hunt in the Mackenzie Mountains with Stan Stevens. It's an absolute phenomenal Dall sheep hunt, and it's for 2025. How often do you put in for a raffle that's 1 in 500 odds that only costs you $100? Never. Those odds don't exist. They don't. You can't buy a ticket like that. So it's 1 in 500 odds, and then you're going to hunt that thing in August of 2025. It's phenomenal. So all you need to do is go to their site. You need to sign up, and then you got to show up at Sheep Week. And Greg and I are going to be there, and Greg says he's buying whiskey for anyone that comes to our booth. Don't ever take him up on that.
Holy.
Anyway, we're going to be at Sheep Week and in Reno. So sign up, and all you need to do is go do the workout. You don't need to. All you need to do is finish it. You don't even have to be good at it. And you finish it, and then your name goes in the drawing, and they're going to give away a Dall sheep hunt to one, and your odds are 1 in 500. And every penny, it's $100. That's all it is. Every penny of that goes to the Wild Sheep Foundation as a donation. So, what a phenomenal program! And then you need some conditioning and some training and some. You need a program to accompany you to get you to that level. So, while you're at it, sign up for a 1-year subscription to Mountain Tough. It's dirt cheap, cheaper than the gym. And they've got programming. You can do it from home. You can do it at the gym. You can do it with weights. You can do it without weights. You've got everything you need, and you're going to feel better. And then Dustin, on this podcast, he talks about kind of their new sort of mentality with programming. He talks about how it's about mental toughness, but also about becoming a better human, about becoming a better dad, becoming a better father, better husband. So he talks all about that stuff, and that's the programming of Mountain Tough. And so it's there, and maybe you don't need that because you're probably a perfect dad or a perfect husband, or you're probably in great shape, but there's so much other stuff there. So bit of a pitch for Mountain Tough, but it's a program I believe in. I've used the programming. I love it, and they're good people doing good things, and they care about conservation, and they have an amazing product.
Yeah, that's well said. There's not much else I can add to that. Thanks, Kyle. We do have another raffle on the go right now too. That from the Jurassic Classic Sacco Steiner package. Head on. Just the look on your face to the screen. You guys need to see this guy. I don't know. It's. You good? You good, Kyle?
This has to be a blooper reel.
You froze and disappeared in the middle.
So
of the
did you.
conversation.
You were gone. You were absolutely gone.
Perfect. So if you didn't catch that, we have some raffles on the go. Check your e-blast for the links on Darrell for the Wild Sheep Society PC. Good, growing men with the giggles.
This episode is sponsored by our conservation partner, Gunworks. Thank you, Sitka Gear and Gunworks, for investing in healthy wildlife and sustainable ecosystems.
Well, here we are back in the studio, and always a pleasure to have you back on the podcast, Dustin. Obviously, a big fan of Mountain Tough Fitness and what you guys stand for, what you guys do, and welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks. It's a pleasure and an honor to be back. I always enjoy it. It's awesome.
Well, man, you guys got so much going on there, and there's been a lot of new stuff coming out this year. Some exciting programs, some great stuff for mountain hunters, and really, really super stoked to talk about what's going on at Sheep Week with the Wild Sheep Foundation this year as well.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. We've been busy in the lab, especially the last couple of years. The production team has really ramped up the ability to create innovative programs quickly, and so programs for older hunters, younger hunters. We just launched a weight vest program today, and so the lab has been busy, and we're really excited for Sheep Show and that the Tough Sheep workout also. So it's been 24/7 around here, which is good. But we're excited at all this new stuff coming to the market.
Yeah, and I want to dive into all that stuff. Obviously, lots of changes and lots of new stuff for anyone that's been with the program for a while. And then maybe that somebody's looked at the program before and maybe just thought it wasn't necessarily for them. I feel like with Mountain Tough now, there's just such a broad range of products. Like, it's pretty hard to say this doesn't work for me. Like, it doesn't matter if you're like the advanced, like an ultra athlete, or if you're just starting out, like you're just like, okay, like I want to just get healthy and you don't know where to start. I think that's the cool part of Mountain Tough is that you've got something for everybody.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we started 9 years ago, so Mountain Tough is heading into its 9th year. And when I started in 2016, it started in the park behind my house. And I just had a flyer that said, I want to train backcountry hunters. And 3 guys called off that flyer. And now it's evolved into this giant global community. But part of that evolution has also been our training. So in 2016, 2017, 2018, it was pretty hardcore. And that's what I wanted. And that's kind of what I was going after, was kind of this elite level human performance training for the mountain hunter. And I'm really glad that was the trajectory we took. But as I have matured and as the business has matured, a lot has changed over that 9-year evolution. And even today in that 9th year, we still hear over and over and over again, several times a week, that people are intimidated to start Mountain Tough. And a lot of that intimidation, it does come from that early marketing and the early years of Mountain Tough, because we were kind of pushing the limits in 16, 17, 18 of our workout style and the difficulty level of our workouts. And because of that, it wasn't suitable for everyone. So it could be dangerous for someone over 50. It could be risky for someone with an injury. And in the last 3 years, as the team has grown and as our aperture for what people actually need has grown, it's pretty insane how much we've added to really grab anyone by the hand and take them through a fitness journey. And so now our goal, if we look at 24, 25, is that we can really help anyone from off the couch or a beginner. We can take that individual to intermediate and to an elite level for mountain fitness in a really safe way that's kind of risk-free. And so just in the last couple of years, there's been the addition of an on-ramp program, minimal gear on-ramp. There's minimal gear foundation. There's pre-season prep for hunters that are over 50 years old. And so if you look at Mountain Tough in 16, 17, 18, there was 9 or less programs. If you look at Mountain Tough now going into 2025 in the app, there are 25 different options for people to dive into. And so we really tried to focus on, hey, everyone's different. Everyone has a different lifestyle professionally, their time commitment they can put into fitness. Everyone has a different fitness level. Everyone's a different age. And some people have different injuries or modifications that we need to navigate around. And so I'm really proud of that, because each year we've gotten better at taking care of any mountain hunter, regardless of their life situation.
Yeah, awesome, man. I guess that's the one thing that I really appreciate about the programming too, is that you have all that information there. So if you're just curious and you buy a subscription, you can go on and you can look at the elite stuff. But if you're just getting going, it's got the basics there, and right down to like, okay, like I don't even know how to do this exercise. So, and there's been times where I've been in the gym with the programming where I'm looking at it and like, shoot, I'm not really familiar with that. And I've watched the video. I've watched it at home before I've gone to the gym or watched it ahead of time. And then I'm at the gym, I'm watching the video now to, technique and that sort of stuff too. So I think it really holds your hand. It gives you like a lot of options. And two, as you graduate, as you get better. And if you're already ultra fit and you just want to tune up for a backcountry hunt, you've got everything there too. So it's like soup to nuts on the when it comes to mountain hunting for every sort of skill, age level, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And the big, really big shift in the last year, maybe 2 years, is we shifted to that daily approach as well. So in addition to all the on-ramp programs that we discussed, there also was the addition of the dailies. And the dailies, what we found was there is a very attractive component to something being fresh every 24 hours. And that's what a lot of people experience when they work with a personal trainer or they go to a class. If you go to a great class in your hometown, part of that addiction is that it's fresh and it's new every day. And that was one missing component in the app. And so we launched the Minimal Gear Daily, but now we have Minimal Gear Daily, Full Gym Daily. We have a Mobility Daily, and we're launching a Range of Motion Daily and a Prayer Daily here going into 2025. And all those products, every 24 hours they expire. So it's brand new every single day. So it's about as close to having a personal trainer or a personal physical therapist with you in your living room. They're with you every single day. It's always new. It's always updated. It's always fresh. And that has quickly become one of our most viral products we've ever done. And a big part of that is because, human performance is changing, times are changing, current events. And so we're able to keep up with that through those daily products.
Yeah, and then too for people, I think that's really cool is you guys now, well, not now, but you've got that Mountain Tough community. So you've got that online platform where people can go and they can share their experiences, and even on the app, like there's specific, like one thing I found when I was starting out with the program, I didn't know what weight to start with for my age, my skill level. So it kind of gave me, like, obviously everyone's unique and stuff, but it would give me a baseline of what people were using for weights and stuff like that, and get feedback on it too. And you can see people's PRs and all that sort of stuff. So I thought it was pretty cool. And I think it's a great way. It's very interactive and like motivational as well.
Yeah. Yeah. The Mountain Tough community is really strong. And you'll see that in the app where people are talking about every workout, talking about how it went, how they performed, how many rounds they got. You'll see their finishing time a lot. So that way at home, you can benchmark and compete with people that are in your same area or maybe your same age. And that is something we always wanted. We wanted this ability to create this like-minded community, because mountain hunters are really a like-minded group, and they're extra special in the Mountain Tough community because most of the time we're finding mountain toughers are the people that are willing to do these crazy workouts in their garage or these crazy workouts in their basement by themselves. So they're choosing not to go to their local gym if they have one, and they're choosing to train really well, really difficultly by themselves at home. And so what we wound up with is this amazing, mentally tough, like-minded community. And when you get them together, whether it's digitally or in person, some really special things happen.
So let's touch on that. So you talk about getting together. So Mountain Tough is basically a web-based program. Now you guys have the lab in Bozeman, and you guys do host workouts there too, right? So local people come to the gym and work out the lab and stuff like that. But you've got something pretty special coming up this fall or this winter. So let's talk about what you guys have just recently announced and what's involved there, Dustin.
Yeah, you bet. So we came up with this idea last year at Sheep Show. So going to Reno last year, and that I'd been to Sheep Show for several years before that. But Weston on our team kind of looked around. It was his first year down there with me. And right away, he picked up on this concept that we should host a workout at Sheep Show. And, over the years we had done cool workouts down in the Peppermill gym or stuff like that with just small groups of mountain toughers, 10 or 15 each morning before the show kicked off. But what Weston picked up on is that you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people going to Reno for the chance to win one of the most incredible hunts that exists on the planet. And you can really see that like at the Less Than One club hour where they give away those 6 hunts, and everyone is so excited to see someone win a sheep hunt that's never been on one before. But there's never been anything at Wild Sheep Show that included the physical component of it. So we're stoked to announce we're launching Tough Sheep. Tough Sheep is a workout this year in Reno, so it'll be at Sheep Show this year. And it is capped at 500 people. So it's a 500 person workout, and it is going to sell out. So I encourage everyone to make sure they grab their tickets right away. We're getting closer to kind of that halfway point. So think about 200 tickets are sold, 300 left. So I encourage everyone to, try to get them this month or next month to make sure they have an opportunity. But we're doing it right there on the show floor. So at Sheep Show, if you've been before, which I know a lot of your listeners have, you have the convention going inside the big hall, but right outside where the seminars are, we're going to have the Mountain Tough Sheep workout right near those seminar rooms. And because it is a 500 person cap, it does become one of the best odds on the planet to win a sheep hunt. So this is always a fun topic for me because for a while, Less Than One had the best odds on the planet to win a sheep hunt. And then Less Than One got really popular. And so now they say before Tough Sheep, the best odds on the planet to win a sheep hunt were the Life Member Breakfast, because the Life Member Breakfast is early at Sheep Show. A lot of people sleep in and miss it. And so now we're advertising as Tough Sheep will be the best odds on the planet to win a sheep hunt because of that 500 person max. And tickets are only $100. So for $100 ticket, participate in the workout. And anyone who participates in the workout is going to be eligible to win this hunt. And it's not a normal sheep hunt. It is one of the best, Dall sheep. It is one of the best Dall sheep tags on the planet. So this is with Stan Stevens, Mackenzie Mountain Outfitters, an incredible Dall sheep hunt in the Mackenzie Mountains. And the other thing about this hunt is it is in August of 25. So a lot of times when you see a tag drawn, the hunter has to wait for 26 or 27 to actually go on this trip. But this hunter who participates in Tough Sheep, they'll win this tag in January, and then they'll be hunting up at Stan's place in August.
That's amazing. So I've been watching this. I'm like super jacked about it, man. Like it's amazing. So one thing about it, it's cheaper now. Like the price goes up in a couple of weeks or November 1st or something, I think. So there's a time limit on it. And then on top of it, you're going to sell out. Like you guys announced this a couple of weeks ago and you're basically halfway there. So there's no question it's going to get sold out. So I think the key takeaway there is get your tickets early. And then on top of it, there's 2 categories, right? There's competitive and non-competitive. So you're going to find your spot. If you're like an advanced mountain tougher, you're obviously going in the competitive part. But if you're new to the game, pick up a subscription now, get involved, pick up some programming, and just show up in Reno, and you're going to fit in. It's not like you just need to finish. So You don't have to be like in uber great shape or like a really advanced mountain tougher to participate, right?
Yeah, those are 2 big factors. That the one of it going to sell out and the price increase coming is important to mention because that price will go up as we get closer to Reno. But that the second point you brought up is an excellent one, because we wanted everyone to be able to participate in this thing. And we wanted that to be true regardless of fitness level. But we also wanted those really elite hardcore guys to have a chance to push the limits really hard in a competitive environment. And you see that theory played out in a lot of fitness events where there's a open division and a pro division. And essentially that's what we're doing with Tough Sheep. Is if you want to go have a great time with everyone, just register in that open division. But if you really want to go try to be the king of the Tough Sheep workout and see if you can win this thing, then you register in that competitive division.
And I think the takeaway there too, as you mentioned earlier, for people so they're not confused, is that it's you don't have to win the competition to win the sheep hunt. Everyone's in randomly. The criteria is you show up, you finish the workout, you're in, your name's in the draw. So it's
Correct.
not like you don't sit there and think, oh, I'll never win it because I can't win. That's not how it works. It's a random draw by all the people that finish.
That is correct, because we wanted everyone to feel what the backcountry is going to feel like. And so you just need to participate in the workout to get your name in the hat for that Stan Stevens Mackenzie Mountain Outfitters Dall sheep hunt. You do not have to win the workout to win the hunt. You just need to be there and finish the workout. And that was part of the Tough Sheep design and concept. Is, so many people are in Reno trying to win a Dall sheep hunt or win a bighorn hunt through the lotteries or through the auctions. But we wanted to add a component of this is what the backcountry is going to feel like. So the whole Tough Sheep workout is designed around simulating the backcountry, with a mountain tough twist on it. It will be a heavy pack workout, so people will be able to bring their packs and use their packs, and the pack will be heavily incorporated into the workout. But we will have it tailored so that it's a lot of fun regardless of anyone's fitness level.
That's awesome. And then I think the other point for me that means a lot is it shows you guys' commitment to conservation. Mountain Tough, you guys, that's part of your ethos. And you guys are 2% certified, if I'm not
correct. We are. Yeah.
So you guys have that conservation mindset. And so the money from this hunt is not filling Dustin's coffers. It's not going to, it's going to Wild Sheep Foundation. You guys are making a donation with a goal of trying to hit $50,000 to support the great work, the conservation work the foundation's doing on the ground.
Absolutely. We're hoping to write a big check to Wild Sheep Foundation off of Tough Sheep. And I think we're going to be able to. And, we would be stoked to even exceed that $50,000. That $50,000 is a baseline goal for us. And, we would love to give them a significant check when this is all done to keep wild sheep on the mountain. And we've had some awesome sponsors step in to help make that a reality. Yeti came in early on with Tough Sheep and said, hey, I want to be the title sponsor on this thing. So Yeti will be a title sponsor. So with the sponsors and then the ticket sales, we're really hoping to generate some conservation dollars and, have a good time at the same event.
Well, and it's such an intense workout. I remember. So last year, what did you guys do? You guys held an event off. You advertised that it wasn't sort of your typical, you talked about these smaller venues at the Pepper Mill where you had a handful of people. Last year, you said, no, come do the tough workout, and you guys went off site. And I remember a bunch of people coming back just shredded. You're like, they're exhausted. I had a couple of volunteers at the booth, and they're just like exhausted. They're like, oh my God, Dustin kicked our ass.
Yeah, that was fun. Last year we did one at Beaver Fit. Beaver Fit is a fitness company, and they build fitness equipment based out of Reno. And they let us host a workout at their place during Sheep Show. And it was awesome because, it was early in the morning on Saturday before the show kicked off. So our workout was at 6 a.m. It was freezing cold in Reno that day. And we had a really good turnout there. And so we know, this one will be significantly more being on site at the convention. But that one was a lot of fun. A lot of awesome, well-known sheep hunters showed up. Remy Warren was out there freezing with us, and it's just an extra chance to bond. I mean, sheep hunters all love hard work. Sheep hunters all love putting in that extra effort and kind of grinding. And when you grind together through adversity, you build some of the best friends of your entire life. We all know that as hunters through a pack out or through going on a nasty backcountry hunt with some of your friends, that really forges that relationship. That adversity forges us together, and we know that Tough Sheep's going to really forge an already strong community.
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay, so brilliant plan. I love the concept of it. So anyone that's interested, obviously they got to sign up for it, and they should do that now because it is going to sell out, and it's also cheaper now. But for somebody maybe that's like been looking at the programming, they're not quite sure. Obviously, pick up a subscription. But how should they get started, and how should they prep for Tough Sheep? What do they need to do to be ready for that workout in January?
Yeah, everyone should go to MTNTOUGH.com right now and make sure you go to the Tough Sheep registration page and get your ticket. So I would encourage everyone to get your ticket. I mean, $100 for a sheep hunt of this caliber at 1 in 500 odds. You would regret not having that ticket and being at that workout. It's certainly one of the most prestigious Dall sheep hunts in the world, and to have a 1 in 500 chance at that hunt is a no-brainer. So make sure you get your ticket before they sell out, and they will sell out, and you're not going to want to miss it. And if you do it now, you're going to miss that price increase. Now, once you're registered, if you already have been training with us in the Mountain Tough app for a few years or for a year or 6 months, just keep on that course of action. Stay on course, keep hitting your workouts regardless of what program you're on, and you're going to be perfectly suited for the Tough Sheep workout. The only thing you're going to want to do as we get closer to January as a mountain tougher is just to make sure you increase some of your pack training, your heavy pack training. Now, I know there'll be some folks listening that are not current Mountain Tough subscribers. The best thing to do to get ready for Tough Sheep after you get your ticket is I would encourage everyone to just start the free trial on Mountain Tough. So Mountain Tough always comes with a 14-day free trial. So that's going to give anyone 2 weeks to see the entire app. That'll unlock the entire subscription, and you'll be able to see everything we offer, all of our programming, including the mental, the nutritional, everything is unlocked on that free trial. But with 2 weeks, you can get entirely through our on-ramp program. So if you like training body weight, you'll go Mountain Tough on-ramp. If you like training with minimal gear, like a set of dumbbells, a kettlebell, a box bench or cooler, a pull-up bar, so that's common in a lot of basement gyms, then you're going to want to go minimal gear on-ramp. And within those 2 weeks, I know that I'm very confident you'll fall in love with the Mountain Tough ecosystem. But if you don't, no strings attached. You can choose another training program to make sure you're prepared for Tough Sheep. For all Mountain Toughers, the new customers getting ready for this event and our legacy customers, a big thing that we're talking about are 2 programs that are going to make a drastic shift in your life as you get ready for January. There's 2 4-week programs that'll change the game for you walking into the Tough Sheep workout. The first one is going to be our brand new one that we released today. So it just got released today, and it's called Weight Vest 20. Weight Vest 20 is a 4-week training program utilizing a weight vest to simulate the demands of a heavy pack. So a lot of weight vests you'll see kind of in the tactical space, but over the last couple of years, we found that it's really a game-changing way for a hunter to train. because you're getting that extra load on your body in a safer manner than it always being pulling on your back like a heavy pack. So the Weight Vest 20, that's 4 weeks. All the workouts are 30 minutes, so they're super efficient. And you're going to want to do that about 4 weeks out from Reno. So if you add Weight Vest 20 to your regimen 4 weeks out from Reno, you'll be adequately prepared. The other one we've had for a couple of years, it's one of our most popular programs, and it's the Heavy Pack 20. So also 4 weeks of training, and you're utilizing your heavy pack, which you'll also be utilizing at the Tough Sheep workout. Those two programs are great options. Really the only difference between those two, one is the Weight Vest, one is the pack, but the Weight Vest 20 are pretty short workouts. It's more for busy professionals that are like, hey, I got 30 minutes. I need a great workout. When you get into HP 20, you're looking more in that hour time frame. So if you like those longer training sessions, go HP 20. If you like those shorter ones, go Weight Vest 20.
And you're recommending it's either or can someone do a back-to-back, do Weight Vest 20 and then go into Heavy Pack 20, or just kind of pick one or the other? I guess if you're really motivated, you could do both.
Oh yeah, you could certainly go back-to-back. For people starting now, that's a great option. So we're getting close to October here. So you're going to have October, November, December, a little bit of January to train. So we got just over 3 months. So you could get both those programs done before we show up in Reno.
Very cool. Dustin, let's talk a little bit about, well, first of all, that Mackenzie Mountain hunt is insane. Like, it's the Northwest Territories. It's the ultimate in wilderness hunting. It's hardcore. It's backpack hunting. Nobody's driving you around in trucks. There's no, like, it's just getting after it. And it's the real deal. And obviously Stan Stevens has got an incredible reputation, and the Mackenzie Mountains are world renowned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really lucked out with that one. Thinking about putting all of this together, we knew that we wanted exactly what you just mentioned. We wanted the real deal, and the real deal is the backpack Northwest Territories Dall sheep hunt. And kind of through a friend of a friend, we found a tag that we could get our hands on, which normally would be really difficult in a time frame like this with Stan. But it all came together where we were able to get that tag for that August 25 hunt. But you're spot on. I mean, we just talked to Randy Newberg, who just got home from the neighboring camp to Stan. So he did not hunt with Stan, but he hunted with the neighboring camp. And he said that it was one of the most incredible places he has ever been in his whole entire life. And that's coming from Randy, who's traveled all over the world on different hunting trips. And as soon as he got home, he looked at me and he's like, you have to go there. You have to put that on your bucket list. The Mackenzie Mountains has to go on your list of a place you want to be in before you die. And he said the same thing, that, you're flying in that little plane for several hours of no roads. Like, you're truly in some incredible remote backcountry.
Yeah. Well, and if anyone knows that, guys, that, like, we're, as a society, we go out and look for sheep hunts for our raffles and stuff. And a lot of these guys are booking 28, 29 now. Like, we're like 5 years out. And you're going to have a chance to do that. Like, you just don't, unless it's a cancellation hunt, there's no way you're ever going to hunt anywhere within 1 year. It's impossible. It just doesn't exist. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That time frame is amazing.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. Dustin, let's talk a little bit about, everyone thinks about working out, the physical aspect about it. And that's obviously important, but as sheep hunters, we know that the mental toughness, and that's kind of one of the tenets of what you guys stand for. Talk about that mental toughness and how, Mountain Tough, and will prepare you for that backcountry hunt more so than a lot of other places get you physically, but they won't get you mentally. And you guys really focus on that, and it's a part of your programming, right? If you go on the app, there's all kinds of information about that mental tough aspect, and even the hunt or the workout themselves are specifically designed with that mental toughness, the ability to forge through when you've hit the wall.
Yeah, I love that, because that's been our ethos since the beginning. Is in 2016, we knew that we wanted to build a brand on mental toughness, and I'm so glad we did that, because it's become more and more relevant and important to me as the years have gone on. And in those early days, we knew that we're trying to train someone to get ready for a backcountry hunt. And we knew that that is going to be multiple days, high elevation, rugged terrain. We knew that the weather was probably going to come in. We knew they would be a long ways from home, and we knew that they would be sleeping in an uncomfortable environment. And so we knew that physically we needed to get them in shape, but we also knew that really what was going to let them accomplish their goals was their mental strength. And so we've always thought of Mountain Tough as a positive bait and switch. And by that, I mean, what you see a lot in the lower 48 is someone will draw that Colorado high country elk tag, and they have been beaten up by the mountain before. They've had friends that have been beaten up by the mountain, or they're just really intimidated by the elevation. Maybe they live in Iowa or Nebraska. They got this Colorado tag, and they know they need to be physically more prepared. So they sign up for Mountain Tough. And that's when we know the positive bait and switch moment's going to happen, because they signed up for Mountain Tough to get ready for this Colorado tag. But we know now that they're in the Mountain Tough ecosystem, we have the chance to impact their whole entire life. So through good training and difficult training, all of these positive snowball things are going to start happening in addition to their mental toughness. So they're going to start sleeping better because they're training better. Usually their nutrition is going to change because they did a great workout. They don't want to ruin it with bad nutrition. And because they're sleeping better, eating better, and training better, now they have more energy to play with their kids. They're becoming better fathers. Because they're better fathers, they're becoming better husbands. And so just because they thought they were getting ready for Colorado, which they are, they're actually becoming better humans. And part of that better human is them developing this ability to overcome adversity. And really that's all mental toughness is what is my threshold in my bounce back response time to adversity? How quickly and how effectively can I handle when hard things are thrown my way? And that's what really great mountain hunters are able to do. They're able to adapt and evolve when that snowstorm comes in, or when their transmission goes out on their truck. And so mountain hunters all require this mental toughness, but that same mental toughness makes you a great human. And that's what we're looking for at Mountain Tough is how can you train yourself to handle adversity better so that when you run into a financial crisis at work, you bounce right back. Or if you run into a health crisis at home, you bounce right back. And so we're doing that in a lot of different ways. One way that mental toughness is trained is just by doing something hard every day. So if you challenge yourself physically each day and you don't necessarily want to, but you push through and do it anyways, you're building that resilience, you're building that mental toughness daily. And so just by someone doing their Mountain Tough workout each day, they're becoming more mentally tough because they're doing a hard thing. But inside of the workout themselves, we are implementing a mindset philosophies and tips and tricks into the workout. So sometimes you might see a false finish where you thought you were done, but you're actually not done. And so we'll pull that trick on you sometimes inside of the programming, just to build that mental toughness and increase that mental toughness. Also, over the last couple of years, we've added a lot of just mindset curriculum into the app. And so we've always had it baked into our workouts and baked into our programming. But now inside of the app, there is mental toughness curriculum that does not include a workout. So think of that as being like a master class on mindset. So we have some of the best instructors in the world that are going to teach you about how adversity works, how pain works, so that you can overcome that stuff in your life. And so the mental toughness masterclass is in the app. Some of that's coming from phenomenal military instructors, but now we have it coming also from famous hunters that a lot of hunters are going to know about.
Let's look at you specifically, Dustin. You obviously are a really fit guy. You've been really motivated, and you created the programming around this with a great ecosystem of people to help you build it out. But you personally, how do you stay sharp, focused, and elevate? Like how do you go from being like the best and then just take it to the next level and keep doing that over and over and over and over? Is there a trick? Is it a personal thing? Is there, is that built into the system? I'm just kind of curious how you personally sort of stay on your game all the time, because you're the face of the brand, but on top of it, you're to stay sharp like that. How can you maintain that?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it has been a couple different factors. I think of that question in a few different buckets. One, I think of it, I'll start with our always ready and stay dangerous mentality. So Mountain Tough has had a couple ethos and slogans around our brand for a while. And one of them was always ready, and the other one was stay dangerous. And when we wrote kind of the literature around always ready, it was about more than just being in shape for hunting season. It's so much bigger than that. And so always ready to us means like, are you ready to run like a Spartan next month if your daughter asks you to run one with her? Is that something you can do without having to train for? You're just ready to go so that you can be there with her on that day? Or are you ready if a natural disaster hits your town? Can you work with your community? Can you stand up for your community? Can you physically and mentally be there regardless of the circumstances, whether that is your friend calling you to pack out this awesome bull elk he killed last night in this canyon, or whether it's your daughter that wants to run with you, or your kid that wants to hike with you, or if there's a car wreck on the way home from work tonight. We want Mountain Tough community. We want the Mountain Tough community to be ready for stuff like that at all times. And I think that philosophy has helped me so much, because pre-Mountain Tough, I think I was trapped in the life cycle that a lot of people are, where it's you kind of train for hunting season and then you let that go, and you train for hunting season and you let that go. And the always ready mentality is kind of the opposite of that. It's saying, I'm going to be at this 80% level all the time, and then I can tweak this last 20% depending on what is going on for the calendar year. And being at that 80% level all the time, it gives you that always ready edge, but it also is, I have found it to be much more enjoyable and safer than the roller coaster that most people are trapped in. Because the roller coaster, of getting in shape and then getting out of shape, it gets more and more difficult the older you get. So a lot of people can pull that off in their 20s, where they'll get in shape, go on an awesome hunt, and then get out of shape all winter. But that doesn't really work or translate into like your 30s and 40s and 50s, because getting back in shape is so much harder. And so kind of flipping my mindset to thinking like, how can I stay at this 80% level all the time? It's really changed the game on my fitness, because everything just kind of starts stacking on top of itself. And it's kind of this brick by brick philosophy, where all these positive bricks being placed in my life just allow these other opportunities to open up physically and mentally that I never really thought would have existed. And I think a big part of that is because we kind of embraced that always ready mentality in the early days, and we kind of stuck with it through all these years.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, I guess the tough sheep workout's going to be, really elevate guys too, because typically that's the winter season when guys are sort of letting their guard down, and especially around Christmas time and stuff. But if you're running into sheep week and you're going crazy at Christmas time and not working out and eating poorly, you're not going to do very well at the workout. So that's going to help people through that terrible time at Christmas.
Yeah. I think that's going to help a lot. The people that train leading into tough sheep are going to feel good. The people that did not train going into tough sheep are gonna really, really feel it.
Yeah, for sure. Talk a little bit about, I know Randy was promoting a program, I think for 50 plus that you guys were pushing and stuff. So, kind of that mentality where like, okay, we've got aging sheep hunters that want to stay in fit and good shape. Talk a little bit about the programming around that. I think that's pretty new to the brand from what I understand.
Yeah, that one has been really, really amazing. And that's preseason prep 50 plus. And that one happened incredibly authentically and organically. And Randy walked into our gym last year, which is funny because Randy, his office is across the street from the MTNTOUGH lab, and he's never been in the gym before. And we didn't really know each other very well. We bumped into each other over the years at different events, but I didn't really know Randy, and Randy didn't really know MTNTOUGH. But he came over because he was going on that Mackenzie Mountain hunt, which is what was so fascinating. Is he was like, Dustin, the bucket list hunt of my lifetime is this Mackenzie Mountain hunt. And he actually started a savings account right when he got married to his wife, where they just put a few $100s a month in an account for this hunt. And it finally was coming into fruition after all those years. And he felt like when it was finally happening, he was finally able to go. He just got home about 3 weeks ago. So back up a year, he was finally able to go, and he felt like he was in the worst shape of his life. He had a ligament injury in his arm, and he was getting extremely out of shape through trade show season, which a lot of hunters know and a lot of industry guys know that trade show season after trade show season can be difficult on your health. It's harder to work out, it's harder to eat healthy, it's harder to avoid alcohol. And so Randy was in the worst shape he'd ever felt he was in. He had a ligament injury in his arm. He has a liver condition. His liver condition allows him to not eat much protein. And all of this had hit him the same year that he drew what, in his eyes, was the bucket list hunt of his lifetime. And so that was pretty cool and pretty special that he was like, I want you to help me thrive on one of the coolest hunts I'm ever going to go on that I've been saving for since I got married. And so we started training Randy, and I never thought that I wanted to do age-specific programming. I always thought that everyone was going to follow the same human performance philosophies. And when we started training Randy hands-on, he came over to the lab every single day. We met as a coaching staff, and as a coaching staff with Sarah, our head trainer, and Nick, our head physical therapist, we started noticing different things that older mountain hunters are going to have that haven't been in the gym in a long time, that younger mountain hunters don't necessarily deal with as much. And a lot of that comes down to balance, stability, and mobility. And so if you're 30 and you've never trained, you're still going to have a decent amount of balance, stability, and mobility. But if you're 55 or 60 and haven't worked out since high school football, your balance, stability, and mobility are really, really going to be suffering. And so because of those three characteristics, our traditional programming had some gaps. Our traditional programming was the Mountain Tough preseason prep, and it wasn't necessarily covering some of those gaps that a 50, 55, 6-year-old hunter was going to face. And so our coaching staff said, we might want to consider building a specific program for 50 plus mountain hunters. And it was all based on our experience of watching Randy in the lab every single day. And so we went for it, and we built that custom with Randy, doing a lot of testing, a lot of iterations, until we landed on programming that we were super happy with. And we launched that this year, and it is just taken off. I'm so glad that we did it. The amount of hunters in that age bracket is a very, very high volume. So there's a lot of mountain hunters that age. There's a lot of mountain hunters that finally have the financial resources and the time to go on the hunts they've always wanted to at that age. That's a big demographic of baby boomers that no one's ever built specific training for. And so it's kind of exploded. It went viral because there was a lot of people waiting for that program to exist. But I just love it. I love that, it was an authentic need that Randy needed. And I know there's so many people out there that that's the reality of their life, that they might feel like they're in the worst shape ever, or they might have an injury, or they might have a health condition. But it was a good testament of you can turn things around, and you can really do some monumental things. And we saw that with Randy coming home. He went on that hunt, and he's only been home about 3 weeks, and he's still coming in the gym every day after he got home, which I love. So he's hitting his workout every single day, even though that Mackenzie hunt is over. So it just became a lifestyle for him. And he said he's never felt better than he did on that hunt. And he doesn't think he would have got that ram without the fitness level that he had, because of how the situation unfolded. They had to do this uphill sprint for that ram before it rounded around a corner. And so his fitness level not only allowed him to thrive on that hunt, it kind of allowed him to get that shot of a lifetime.
Yeah, very cool. So, there's lots of evolution with the brand. You talked about, just launched today the Weight Vest 20. You've got the preseason prep 50. You talked about the different, daily components that you guys are adding. As a brand, obviously you guys are very dynamic. You evolve. How important is that? And I think it, like, from my perspective, it's like workouts can get stale, right? And it just having that sort of evolution and that content that's so it's always changing. And in fact, you can one of the things you could argue, it's like, oh, you go on the website and you could get overwhelmed, but you guys have fixed that too, because you actually have a flow chart. You're like, okay, if these are your goals, this is where you need to go. Can you talk a little bit about, like, because where do you go from here? Like, you've done so much, it's phenomenal, and there's so much content on the app and on the website. Talk a little bit about where the brand goes, moving forward.
Yeah, that's an exciting question, because I think that there's still a lot of room to go. From one aspect of that question is that human performance is always changing. Human performance is always evolving with new things we learn. And you see that in professional sport. If you look at like the professional athletes today compared to the professional athletes 20 years ago, they're so much faster and stronger and bigger. And a lot of that is like everything that's learned every day around human performance is really fascinating, from how you train, when you train, how much you train. And now we're even seeing it in like how you recover with like the sauna cold plunge trend, the nutritional trends. All of those little things are really creating some amazing human performance gains. So I think there will always be improvements to be made. I know that we have a big plan to continue to expand that daily offering category, because there probably at some point in time in Mountain Tough will be a daily option that satisfies all the different customer types. So that would be multiple coaches across multiple daily programs. So maybe, for example, there's like a daily 50 plus. That way you're getting trained every single day for that category. Or maybe with our daily minimal gear, there's 6 different coaches and you pick the coach that you love training with the most. So I think we'll see those changes. And then, a big priority for me with the Mountain Tough brand is I'm a huge believer in making men better men. And so you're seeing some of that in the app, where there's content in the app now around fatherhood. There's content in the app now around marriage. There's content in the app around preparedness, first aid. And I just think that like men being holistically stronger, physically, mentally, spiritually, nutritionally, strengthens the household. And if we have strong households, we're going to have a stronger world. And so we spend a lot of time thinking about that stuff as well. And it's kind of the sky's the limit. It's a fun time to be right now in Mountain Tough, because we have such a passionate community. And a lot of times we let the community pull us in directions they want to see us go. So sometimes we push with innovative products, like the MGD was definitely us saying, let's test this 24-hour expiration daily concept. I don't think the community would ever told us they wanted that. So sometimes we try the innovation that way, but most of the time we're just listening to our audience and we're kind of looking for those themes, and then we're going to go create those themes.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's super inspirational. So somebody that's new, like obviously anyone that's using the app's familiar with the program. Somebody that's new, maybe they're not too sure. There's a few things that stand out for me. First of all, it's tailored to mountain hunting. So it's an ecosystem, right? It's not a workout. It's much bigger than that, and it encompasses so much stuff. So to me, that's like a huge impetus to get involved. But for somebody that is maybe a little bit on the fence, let's talk a little bit about that process. So you got the 2 weeks free trial. So they sign up for that. They do the onboarding. But the cool thing is you get access to all the content. So it's all there, all the videos, everything. It's all right there. And I think it's a very cool opportunity for people just to get on there, try it out. And maybe it doesn't fit for some people. I love the incredible flexibility of it. Like, you can go to the gym, you can work out at home, you can work out with all equipment or work out with none. You have a lot of flexibility there. So maybe just talk a little bit about some of those benefits that you see there, Dustin.
Yeah, for sure. We, over the last couple of years, we thought that most people are falling into different categories, and that category, answering that for yourself, helps a lot with deciding how to onboard on Mountain Tough. So the first question that we usually work with people is deciding kind of that fitness level they feel like they fall into right now. So deciding whether you feel like you're a beginner, intermediate, or elite athlete, because we have pathways that answer that question, but we just need to know that answer. So beginner, intermediate, elite. And then what we also found was there seems to be a trend where people like training at home or they like going to the gym. We like to work with people through that because there's certain programs that are going to work better for you at home. Then there's certain ones that are going to work better at a gym, but unless you have a very robust home gym. So we usually decide, hey, are you a beginner that likes to train at home? Or are you an intermediate that likes to train in a full gym? And once we know that answer, and some of that is kind of in that flow chart, that based on the answering those two questions, we can kind of put you on this right trajectory to make sure that you're successful. And a big part of that was the Mountain Tough on-ramp, because for about 6 years we didn't have that. And so people were kind of jumping into the fire. But now there's a on-ramp for body weight folks. And that is a great pathway, whether you're beginner, intermediate, or elite. So regardless of your fitness level, if you want to train like in a 10 by 10 basement room with no gear, you're going to want to go with the on-ramp. But if you like kettlebells and dumbbells, you're going to want to go with the minimal gear on-ramp, regardless of your fitness level. And then if you like squat racks and barbells with a robust home gym, or you're going to your local gym, you're going to want to go with the gym on-ramp. So us kind of making that tweak in our ecosystem changed the game, because it's kind of like all professional athletes going back to the fundamentals. Even if you're a professional NBA basketball player, you're still going to revisit those fundamentals every year. And that's how we view on-ramp is if you're an elite athlete, but you like training on gym equipment like a squat rack, we need you to start on gym on-ramp, and then we're going to kind of take you to the next path. But that has been certainly a game changer on decide what your fitness level is, and then decide how you want to train. And then we kind of can create that perfect pathway for you inside of the app.
Awesome. So if people are interested, they want to get involved, whether they're beginner, intermediate, or elite, and maybe they just haven't used the programming yet, how do they get involved? Where do they go to check it out?
Yeah, best place is MTNTOUGH.com, and then you'll see in the top right, you can click Start Free Trial, start your trial there. And then once you have your trial started, the awesome thing about Mountain Tough now is it's native on many different places. So most common, people are going to use it on their iOS, their iPhones. So you can download it straight out of the Apple App Store. You can download it straight out of the Android App Store, the Google Play Store. But it's very common now for people to be training off their smart TV. So we're available on all the smart TV streaming platforms. But create your account on MTNTOUGH.com first, click Start Free Trial, and then download the app depending on how you want to stream the training. And then you're good to go off that 14-day free trial.
Yeah, it's awesome. I know personally when I've had it in the gym, quite often I'll print out the workout and have a physical piece of paper there. But then if there's something where I'm like, oh, I'm not exactly sure like what's involved with that, like you go on the app and then you can watch the videos right there. It's all right there, just a click, right? 2 clicks and everything's there. And there's a lot of resources right there at your fingertips. I find like I like a physical piece of paper when I'm in the gym personally, but it's really flexible and I like that. And there's just so much. I can't emphasize how much information is on that app. It's just endless, and the website, it just goes on forever. And it's really like you've done a great job of laying it out where people can use it. and it makes sense. It's not like you get lost in it, which that's happened before with everything I do. You just get lost in it. But with Mountain Tough, it is not like that. Everything's right there at your fingertips. It's really accessible and super easy to use. So yeah, you've done a great job, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. It's been a lot of baby steps.
Yeah, well, it's awesome. So cool to be affiliated with you guys and all the great work you're doing. And I guess so you're putting all this effort in. Are you getting out in the field and getting after anything, or is your season ramping up or ramping down? What's going on there?
Yeah, I've been getting out a little bit, and we have a crazy trip for me personally coming up this year that I am really excited about. We're going to go with a Mountain Tough film crew. We're going to try to make more of a long hunting film out of it, but I'm going to go to Kyrgyzstan in October for ibex. So
nice.
Central Asia ibex, and Peter Howell from 6 Hours is going to come with me. And my first time over there, it's my first time to Central Asia, but the Mountain Tough logo is an ibex. So I've always dreamed about going on this hunt, and it kind of finally came together. We're leaving in about 3 weeks. It's going to be cool.
That is awesome, man. From a programming perspective, has there been any sort of tweaks in your programming with regards to, high elevation hunts and stuff like that? Are you thinking about any changes to your programming around that with this sort of different environment that you're going to be hunting in?
Not too much, because we found through all the research that the best thing you can do to be ready for high elevation is to be in as good of shape as you can be, but then acclimate as early as you can. So like arriving on a hunt early. But we're hunting a lot of archery elk in Montana before then, and a lot of that is at 8,000 feet. It sounds like on this ibex hunt, we'll be hunting really close to 12. So most of our days will be at 12. So that elevation is an unknown for me. It's going to be interesting. And a big part of Central Asia, it sounds like the big unknown is the crazy horse rides you go on with the canyons through the shale. And so I'm more nervous about the horse rides than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's awesome. Well, we're going to be down at Sheep Week, and I'm going to be doing some podcasting down there. So I know Sheep Week's always a train wreck for trying to get guys in the booth and talk about things, because there's so many things going on. I know you're going to be incredibly busy with the tough sheep, and then I know you guys have a booth set up there this year too. So, yeah. But we'll try and maybe get back on the podcast and visit about Kyrgyzstan and talk about what's next for the brand. So,
that'd be awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it, Kyle.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast today. And again, thanks for all you do, and can't wait to see you in Reno.
Likewise. Yeah, I appreciate you and appreciate everything you're doing.